Hi, you guys. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for all of this wonderful comments and messages. It is really appreciated. Today, I want to take you along with me as I interview two sweet friends on two different styles of homeschooling. So if you are currently homeschooling or considering it, this is definitely the video to watch.
Okay, it's right here. Okay, and then you compare. So you have to do that with all of these words and then circle the ones that are misspelled. So that's why you have to find it. Not every word is on there.
What month are we in?
September.
September! Good job, Brittany!
Yay,
Okay, Braylee, what year are we in?
2023.
Excellent. Braylee gets a star. September 19th, 2023.
Hi, you
Good job,
guys.
girls.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my friend Brianna. This is my friend Emily. She is so kind to let me interview her about homeschooling. Thank you so much, Brianna, for allowing me to invade your space. And
Anytime, Chantel.
I have questions.
Absolutely.
A lot of women have questions and are considering it, and we're just not, sure where to start
Yes.
and how to go about it. Who or what influenced you guys to homeschool?
So our story is a little different in the path that we took. We had wanted to homeschool before we even had children, but with the way life works out, I did have to work outside of the home. So we had our oldest at a charter school, a very conservative charter school, and we were very happy with that. So she did kindergarten there, and then right after she did kindergarten, she was going into first grade. The Lord opened an opportunity for me to stay home.
Oh, great.
A lot of women at my church homeschool. So that made it a lot easier and less daunting, because when you think of homeschool, it's like, oh, I could never do that.
Right.
And that's exactly what I said.
So I was pregnant with my third, and I had a 2.5-year-old, and Molly was almost 6.
Wow.
And so she started first grade at the charter school, and it didn't even dawn on me. Like, I'm home now. Why don't I homeschool? But the teacher would send these videos every day, once a week. I'd look at these videos of 30 kids sitting on the floor singing their ABCs, and I'd zoom in on Molly, and she would just look miserable.
Aww.
And I was very just heartbroken that her education was taking this turn where she just looked miserable.
Right.
When you don't know enough about something, it becomes fearful.
Yep.
And the more I started digging into what homeschool was all about, I just became so much more excited. So my husband and I people had been asking me, are your kids going to start school? Are you going to homeschool? So I was like, we need to decide.
So about a week later, we went ahead and pulled her out of school a week later and just dove headfirst in. I was pregnant. I didn't know what I was doing. But
what was really your time frame from the time you guys decided that you want to homeschool, from the time you decided, well, let's just get started?
I always knew that homeschool would be an option, but I never knew it was going to be the option.
Right.
But once we decided that it would be, we just went 100 miles an hour towards homeschool, watched everything we could watch, interviewed all the homeschool moms that I know, and just started digging into curriculums.
Yes.
And we were just so excited. We turned in one of our bedrooms into a homeschool room.
Did you find it any difficult to get started? I mean, you pulled her out a week later. Did you guys even have a curriculum or anything set up?
My friend Christina, she was doing My Father's World, which is it's kind of an all-in-one boxed curriculum. It had everything that you needed except math and language arts. Probably took a few weeks to gather everything, but she was home with us during that time. And then from there, you develop your theory of education, or your there's different mindsets or philosophies in regards to education. Right. So I dove in before I really read anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So over time, it's changed and kind of evolved into something that's more suitable for our family. But yeah, we just got started right away. Mm-hmm.
And so we've debunked all the myths of homeschooling that is out there. You know, Kirk Cameron has that documentary,
Right.
Homeschool. Yep. So that actually helped a lot of our, you know, reservations that we had. Mm-hmm. And we were, you know, very reserved about, we would like to homeschool, but it doesn't matter. It's trial and error. Mm-hmm. Your kids won't fail in life. You know, mm-hmm. Your kids will not, you won't do any horrible injustice to them by homeschooling them. It is all trial and error. Yeah. And don't worry about it. From what I gathered from the documentary and from what you're saying, it's pretty much, you know, they will basically adapt. You will get it together. It takes time. Absolutely. And you can change it up. I wanted to know what curriculum you guys decided to go with and why. Do you like it?
Yes, so that got us so excited. Once we picked a curriculum, mm-hmm. It's Memoria Press. It's a classical Christian mm-hmm. Curriculum, and we love it because it just lays everything out. You don't have to do much thinking.
That's great.
You know, which is great. You just go down line by line. They give you all the books, all the resources, okay. And arts and crafts stuff, like everything you could think of.
Wow, that's perfect, because that would be the most fearful part for me is trying to figure out, hey, how do I go about teaching this? How do I apply it? How I teach them to apply it into everyday life? But if it's all in the curriculum and you're just following along, that's very helpful to get started. I mean, you can always change things later on down the line to what fits your family, but that's perfect start. So classical Christian. And so you guys are enjoying it, you're happy with it. Mm-hmm. That was your favorite curriculum. Are you still using My Father's World now, or have you changed?
I have changed. Okay. So there's a lot of wonderful podcasts mm-hmm. that you can listen to. I really enjoyed reading Charlotte Mason's work. Okay. She has a 6-volume series on homeschooling, and that really opened my eyes to the world of a Charlotte Mason education. Oh. Rich books, yes. Which are called living books, yes. Where they can read a book about history written in a really well done story. So they're falling in love with learning, right? And so when they read a book or when they approach a book, it's what did they get out of it, not what I want them to get out of it. Right. So I have them narrate it back to me. So that's really been it's just been a wonderful process. And so it's, I think, made homeschooling very pleasant and very a natural part of their life. Right. You know, for one of my children, really, he only has to do math and grammar because he's reading. Yeah. You know, so many books on his own that he's actually educating himself.
Oh, and I taught. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about, because I taught him, and you know, for Sunday school, and he always talks about the books he's reading, and how much and how quickly, you guys, he reads books in a week. It takes me like a month to even attempt to get halfway through the books that he's reading. Yeah. So he's like really a avid reader. He loves to read. Yes. Really.
So right now he's driving his own education.
So is it difficult homeschooling, you know, your kiddos who are at different age levels and different levels in school?
Yeah. So now that we've been in 15 weeks mm-hmm. in a homeschool, mm-hmm. We've set a schedule and a routine. So whatever we can do together, we do together. Mm-hmm. And then when it's time to split off, mm-hmm. And it's teaching our kids self-control, because true. The older ones want to answer for the younger ones. And I reward my older one when she's practicing self-control and she doesn't answer.
That's great.
Not all the time, but it's, you know, all the time. She does want to, you know, I do a star reward. They love the stars. Mm-hmm. And so there's, you know, creative things that you can do to have a classroom of different ages. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We also, like, I split them up. Like, I'll be with one child for a little while, mm-hmm. and then we send the other one to the playroom, and mm-hmm. she plays for a little while, and then they switch, and then we end in prayer.
That's great.
You know, our early preschooler, mm-hmm. the under 5s, under 6s, that is a difficult season, when they need you, they're tugging at your legs and you have three other kids that you're trying to homeschool.
That's right.
So that can be a challenge to entertain them. I would say a lot of open-ended toys, magnetiles. We have our cash register out over there. My youngest is almost 6, so he's officially started just learning to read. So for his education, it takes, between his reading lesson and math, it's taking maybe a half an hour. My daughter's in 7th grade, and so it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. And I've been preparing her. You're in 7th grade now. This is going to require a lot more. And so, up until a certain point, there's some freedom to allow them to drive their own education. Now, as long as they can read and they can write, and you keep up on, grammar and arithmetic, and then just exposure to all sorts of books. And that's really the freedom that the younger years offers. And then, they grow up.
Then they grow up.
They have to learn how to do
You are homeschooling and you're home. And you're practically a stay-at-home mom. You're a homemaker, right?
Yes.
How do you get it all done? Homeschooling, cooking, cleaning. Is it a distraction, while you're being home and homeschooling? Is it hard? Is it difficult?
It is if you don't have a routine. It is if you're not prepared. But I know that when I wake up a couple hours before my children do, it just makes the day so much better.
Okay.
And so being able to plan everything out, and also including your children in the daily tasks. When it's time to change a load in the laundry, okay, we need to go change the load. They take all the laundry out, they push the buttons. And so however I can involve my children in what we do, that makes it fun for everybody.
And it's preparing them for later in life where they'll have to do it themselves too, because that'll be their chores.
They already want to do everything mommy does. So why not do the other fun stuff that mommies do?
And lay off the load on yourself. Give yourself a break too, because sooner or later they will be doing it on their own. That's perfect. How do you get the homeschooling, the cooking, the cleaning? How do you get all of that done?
In short answer, you don't. Thankfully, there's 6 days in a week where you can get it done. And I think one of the biggest things is, we're in this together. Yeah. Right? It's not my job to get everything done.
Yeah, you have help.
We're a family, and they're always here. So I would say, including your children in the process. Yeah. That's the only way it's going to get done. And then really lowering your expectations of what you're capable of.
That's true.
Are you going to have the Instagram ready house all the time? No, you're not. And that's the beautiful part about life and doing life with your children. Is that everybody gets to pitch a hand. They know to do their own laundry. They know how to make their own breakfast. Right. They're very independent.
So we get the kids involved in the process.
If I see the girls are just having so much fun doing something, and it might be school time, I'm okay with pushing school time out a little bit when they're just having such a blast at what they're doing. I don't want to interrupt that.
That's right. And it's a blessing because that is perfect. It is flexible. That's why you're able to homeschool. It can be whatever your family's doing at that time. And you can travel with the kids and still teach them, so that's perfect. I just love that. So what advice can you give to the ladies out here who are considering homeschooling their kids?
I could talk about this forever, right? I would say the first thing is seek out what fits for you in regards to your philosophy of education, right? We have classical education, we have a Charlotte Mason education, there's Montessori style, there's all these different, there's eclectic, there's outschooling. So you really want to find what fits you and your beliefs about education. And then listen to podcasts. There's a lot of really great resources out there.
They didn't have that before.
Figure out, your math, your grammar and language arts and Bible, and just get the basics, right? Just start. And if it doesn't work, then you can change it up.
Yep.
It's the beautiful thing. You're never gonna get it done all at one time. You're never gonna, get it right the first time. Right.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah. The second thing really is to not be afraid. There's a lot of anxiety about, am I doing enough?
Yes.
Am I messing this up?
Yes.
Am I doing enough? And I think I've been at this for 6 years now, and I'm just now to a place where I'm not stressed out that I'm not doing enough, or that I'm getting it wrong, or that I'm failing. I'm really just embracing the chaos and understanding that my children are going to be okay.
Yes,
they're going to be
okay.
okay. Yeah, and at the end of it, I really just want them to have a love for learning, and I want them to be able to write a paper and do some math. And everything on top of that is really just the extras, right? And the great thing is, I can present the same material to all three of my children. Okay, here's a book, let's read it together. They're all three going to take different things away from that book.
Yes.
No education is the exact same.
Right.
It's always different.
Everyone is different.
And everyone is different. And that's the beautiful part, is they can get the education that, I'm laying the feast, and they can take what they want. So I would say, don't worry, don't stress, don't give into anxiety, and just start with the basics and add as you go.
Yeah.
Add as.
And is it difficult, like, knowing now? Everyone doesn't know. Bianna she's actually a real estate agent, and she has the flexibility to do that as well if she chooses. At the moment, you can still do that. Do you find that would be an interruption, or do you find it to be difficult? Any advice you can give the ladies who also may be considering working part-time in homeschooling, and some are actually working from home and homeschooling? Any advice that you can give would be gratefully appreciated.
Yeah, so you can definitely do it. I think a big thing is whatever you put into something, that's what you're going to get out of it. So if you're spending time on your business or your work a little bit every single day, it's all going to add up. So it doesn't need to be a lot of time in groups. If you do a little bit every day, the Lord's going to provide.
Yeah.
He's going to provide time and space and money and all the resources you need in order to do both.
Everything you need, right? That is so true. Thank you so much, Brianna. So the last question I have, really, is what advice you can give to those who are considering homeschooling and they have those reservations, anything you can offer to them who may be on the fence, because a lot of people are riding the fence, hopefully not with the Lord, but with homeschooling. So any advice you can offer the ladies out there?
It's just so rewarding. I mean, having kids is a gift in itself, but being able to teach your kids and seeing those light bulbs go off when they learn something, and you're right there. You're not missing a second.
That's right.
We only have our kids for such a short time.
Yes.
And being able to teach them according to God's word, according to how your family does things, and not leaving it up to other, people
who may have different beliefs too.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a safe, fun environment that you can create in your home, as well as flexibility. And it's so fun because you get to kiss and hug your kids in school. You don't get to do that not in your home.
You don't get to do that at all. So that's perfect. Thank you so much for all of your great advice and showing the ladies out there it's really not difficult. It just requires persistence and, just guidance from others, wisdom, doing your research, getting into it, and just getting started, because we're not going to fail our kids. We're not going to ruin them. All the myths are debunked already. We know that.
There you go.
So there you have it. And it's just get started. Start with the basics. Yes. Everything else will come afterwards as you go, and it's adaptable. So hopefully, if any of you ladies are considering, you're not fearful about it, talk to your husbands. Just go ahead and take the plunge. Don't worry, we won't mess up our kids.
There's one really interesting fact I wanted to mention, that I don't remember the exact number, but this is all over Instagram right now. When you homeschool, you get something like 17,000 extra hours with your children. And think about all that time where you're the one molding them, and you're the one that gets to be with them, as opposed to a teacher that you don't know.
That's true.
So it's a wonderful blessing. Some days might not feel like a wonderful blessing. It might feel like a thorn in your side the whole day, but really it's
it is a blessing.
It is a blessing.
Thank you so much, Emily, for letting me come over and just.
Thanks for coming.
I hope someone's blessed by this information and that you guys are really considering doing homeschooling, because it is really a blessing. So thank you so much, Brianna. I'm so grateful
love
to
you.
have you. Love
Thank
you
you, thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Oh.
And we pray that you would bless our school day in Jesus' name. Amen. Yay!
Yay!
Ricky gets a star. There's your
Good
star,
job.
Ricky.
Look, your star.
Look, there's your star. Now look over here. Okay, Braylee, what are your memory verses?
God saw everything that He made, and behold, it was very, very good. Genesis 1:31.
Yay, Braylee got both the verse and where it's from, so she gets 2 stars.
Yay.
Good job. Psalm 119, 105.
Yay.
Good job, Ricky. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Psalm 119, 105. Good job. Okay, last one. Jay.
Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6.
Woohoo! Good job, baby. Good job. You got it. You got it, sister. The opportunity to be able to be with your kids all day long, teaching them from what's happening in the kitchen to how we should interact as humans with each other, with siblings. Having that time is priceless, that you can never get back.
It is invaluable.
And so being able to homeschool, it's right here at home.
And so it's something that you cannot replace or you cannot get back.